when I ask for help, I also have more trust in people because I'm asking them to do something and then they are delivering. And if they do that enough and they do that consistently after enough times, that's how trust is built. But I cannot trust anybody if I'm never giving them the opportunity to fulfill my trust. I'm automatically going to think that you can't do it because you never have. Welcome back to Create Your Fate. I'm your life coach, Meg Ellis, here to help you create your best life ever, beginning with your thoughts and your mind. And today we're going to be talking all about why it is so hard to ask for help. I know I'm not the only person who has carried 15 grocery bags in at the same time in one trip instead of asking somebody for help. I know I'm not alone in this. And those red marks on your arms, they hurt. They stay at least 3 hours. So we're going to help you with your groceries. We're going to help you at work. We're going to help you in your personal life today. We are using my favorite tool, the Enneagram, to break down exactly why you don't ask for help. And yes, you will feel exposed after this episode. You will not be able to unhear it. So if you know what your Enneagram type is, please proceed. If you do not know what your Enneagram type is, make sure you check out the link in the bio. There's a free test. It is the most spot-on personality test. I'm telling you, it will change your life. It certainly changed mine to the point where I dedicated my entire coaching business to it. But let's talk about asking for help because everybody is different. And this is why I love the Enneagram, because it breaks everybody down into 9 different types. So there's 9 types that you could be. And things hit for different types. Everyone's different. So the reason why I don't ask for help is going to be different from why you don't ask for help. So today we're going to be using the Enneagram to understand why each type doesn't ask for help. We're going to talk about the little voices in your head, what they say to you of why you can't ask for help. And I'm going to be giving you a powerful mantra instead for each type that you can replace these negative messages in your head that are saying, hey, don't ask for help. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it. We're going to discuss 3 huge benefits of learning to ask for help. So let's break down the Enneagram first. We're going to be breaking down a tip that actually works for you based on your Enneagram type. And that is also going to be based off of what message your Enneagram type, your personality is telling you. So I'm going to do a quick overview of the Enneagram. If you want more information on the Enneagram, I have tons of podcast episodes directly on each Enneagram type. So I will make sure I attach those in the notes for you to take a look at. But let's talk about type 1. Type 1 is the perfectionist. So there's these 2 running ideas in your mind. It says, hey, your core fear and your core desire. So your core fear, if you are an Enneagram 1, which is the perfectionist, is being bad, being corrupt, making the wrong choice. And your core desire as a perfectionist, type 1, is to do the right thing. So you have this fake superego bad message that is not true in the back of your mind. And it tells you, hey, you're lovable, you're worthy, you got tons of self-worth, you are great if you're perfect. And again, these are fake messages that your brain is telling you. So let's move on to type 2. Type 2 is the helper. They have a core desire to be loved. And they have this core fear of being unwanted or unloved. And they have this fake superego message that says, hey, you're good, you're lovable if you are loved by others. Type 3, the achiever. They've got this core fear of being worthless. And they have this core desire to actually be desirable and be successful because their fake superego message inside of their brain says, hey, you are lovable, you're worthy if you are successful. Type 4, the individualist. They have this desire to have their own unique personal significance and this core fear that they're going to have no identity because their ego says, hey, you're lovable if you remain true to yourself. Type 5. Their core desire is to be capable, competent, and their core fear is to be helpless and useless. They're the investigator. And they have this superego fake message that says, hey, you're lovable, you're worthy if you become the master of something. Type 6, the loyalist. They have this core desire, this inherent desire to be safe and secure and to have support, and this fear of being unable to survive. So their superego message, this fake news, is saying, hey, you're lovable, you're going to have tons of self-worth if you do what is expected of you. Type 7, which is the enthusiast, and this is also what I am. And we have this message that says, you're lovable if your needs are met. Because we got this core fear of being trapped in pain and this core desire to be happy and fulfilled. So let's move on to type 8, which is the challenger. They have this fake news message that says, hey, you're lovable, you're worthy if you're in control, because they are driven by this core fear that says, oh, we don't want to be controlled by anybody else. And they have this core desire to protect themselves. And the last type, which is type 9, the peacemaker. They have this core fear of loss and separation from other people. And they have this core desire to have inner peace. So their fake ego message says, hey, you're good, you're lovable, you're worthy if others around you are happy. So now you know what the Enneagram is. Let's talk about why each type might not want to ask for help. So let's talk about 1, the perfectionist. 1s do not like to ask for help because fear of appearing weak or incompetent, reluctance to burden others with their problems. They have a belief that they should be self-sufficient and capable of handling everything on their own. So if that sounds like you might be a 1. And once again, please do take the test. It is spot on. So you got this voice in your head that says, ugh, they're not going to do it as good as I would do it, so I might as well do it myself. What happens is you end up feeling overwhelmed, burned out because you're doing everything yourself. What happens is too, if you don't ask for help, you end up feeling resentful to the people who aren't helping you, especially if you are somebody who helps other people often. Why do they never help me? Well, probably because you're not letting people help you. And we just read type 1 to filth, and this is why you might not be asking for help, because of that voice in your head. So I'm going to give you a mantra. Write this down on a Post-it note. I'm telling you, put it on your computer. Put it somewhere where you will see it daily. That says, done is better than perfect. We're going to touch on the perfectionist just for a little bit longer, because I think we all do struggle with a little bit of perfectionism. So this perfection, it has to be perfect. I'm fearful of making a mistake. Well, I want you to ask yourself, does it actually need to be perfect? Does it have to be done at this standard? And if the answer is no, I want you to move on, because done is better than perfect. That is your mantra. Done is better than perfect. I want you to complete it. I want you to check it off, and I want you to move on, because very little things require being perfect. And a lot of the things that you are doing yourself don't actually require being done at that level. And here's the thing. When you cut people off from helping you, you're actually cutting yourself off from the idea that they might have a better idea. So just sit on that, because I know we all have that perfectionist streak. So let's talk about number 2, the helper. A 2 does not like to ask for help due to fear of rejection or abandonment if they appear needy. They have a desire to maintain the image of being strong and selfless, and they have a difficulty prioritizing their needs over others. And because they have that superego message that says, hey, you're helpful, and that's when you're lovable. This message says, hey, your self-worth goes up if I'm helping others and if others love me. So if I am asking others for help, that means I'm not helping others. So my self-worth goes down. And I do want to remind you that that is a fake message that your mind is tricking you with. So you have this voice in your head that says you're selfish if you focus on your needs before other people's. So, you know what we're going to replace this with? This mantra. Write this down. I need me too. And that is not a word I use often. I do not use the word need, only in extreme scenarios, and this is one of them. I need me too. So if you are a type 2, write that down. Let's talk about type 3, the achiever. They have that drive for success, right? So I have to achieve, I have to be the best. So they don't ask for help due to concern that asking for help might be perceived as a sign of weakness or failure. Ooh, and a type 3 really does not like failure. They have this desire to maintain an image of success and an unwillingness to show the mess to anyone. I don't want to show anybody how messy this is. I'm just going to give them a little tied up with a bow present at the end when it's all finished. But I secretly do want their recognition for cleaning up the mess, even though I don't want to show it to anybody. No one's going to be able to recognize you, type 3s, if you never show them the mess. And once you show them the mess, you're going to ask them for help with the mess. But right now, because you love efficiency, type 3, and you like doing the most and you like doing all of the things at the same time, you like to be efficient with things, so you have this voice in your head that says, it's just going to be faster if I do it myself. But that doesn't actually help you in the long run. That's a very short-sighted way of thinking, because it's just talking about just the now. Yes, it actually might be faster if you do it yourself, but teaching somebody else how to do it in the long run is going to allow them to help you next time, and the next time, and the next time. So your mantra, type 3, is I trust other people to help me get the job done. And you might have to say that a couple times before you start believing it. Let's talk about 4, the individualist. They like to be unique and have that personal significance, and they don't like to ask for help due to fear of being judged for their unique perspective. They have a desire to maintain a sense of independence and self-reliance, and they have this belief that others fully won't be able to understand. And what they do is, because everybody else does it this way, I want to be different and I'm going to do it this way, right? The opposite way. And they have a tendency to sit in the problem a little bit more because it's different, and the solution can't be that simple. Asking for help, everybody else does that. And remember, I have that self-worth image that says, hey, you have to be different than everybody else. And if this could be solved by asking for help, I don't want to do that. So let me just kind of sit in this problem and focus on the problem a little bit more. So the voice in your head says, hey, you're different. You can't do things the same way others do them. So your mantra, Enneagram 4s, is I'm already unique. You can be unique and still ask for help. So let's talk about 5s. Ooh, 5s really don't like to ask for help because they are the investigator. They like figuring out the answer, and it better be the best one. So they don't ask for help due to preference for independence and self-sufficiency in solving problems. They have a fear of being seen as incompetent if they ask for help, and they have a desire to preserve their energy and avoid emotional vulnerability. So I am certainly not going to ask you for help if I don't think you are as competent as I am, or if I think I am smarter than you, which I likely do. I am definitely not asking you for help. So 5s, we gotta get over that. You've got this voice in your head that also says, hey, you don't know enough yet. Keep working before you move forward and ask somebody for help. They're gonna think that you're incompetent, which is, again, a fake message. These are fake news that we subscribe to in our own head. So we have to get ahead of that. So your mantra, type 5s, is I trust myself and I trust others. Once again, you might have to say these a couple times before you believe them. Type 6, so that loyalist, that one might have a little bit of anxiety with making a decision. So they don't ask for help due to fear of rejection or betrayal if they reveal their vulnerabilities. Because remember, they're the loyalist. They like to be surrounded by others. They like support and stability with other people. They have this concern that they're going to be judged by others for being indecisive. And they have a tendency to rely on their own judgment and resources to cope with these challenges. So your voice in your head, type 6, says, but what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? I'm planning, not just the backup plan, but plan A, plan B, plan C, all the way through Z. And what if the person who I'm about to ask for help with, what if they don't think about all these things? Then it's going to be really bad, and I'm probably going to end up abandoned and alone. right? And I like to have stability because my superego message, this fake message in my head that says, hey, you're good if everybody has what they need, but like, what if they don't get it because this person messed it up? So this is what you're going to say to yourself instead, type 6. I am an excellent troubleshooter and I trust my decisions. And sometimes that decision is asking people for help. So you're going to trust it. 7s, the enthusiasts, right? They have this fake news message that says, hey, yeah, basically, you can't be trapped in pain. You got to have your needs met and you want to have fun. 7s don't ask for help because they have this desire to maintain a positive and carefree image. Everything's fine. I have a fear of being seen as needy or dependent on others because I really don't like needy people. I don't want to be perceived as needy. And I have a tendency to avoid uncomfortable emotions and situations by staying self-reliant. I really don't want to deal with the pain of being disappointed, so let me just keep it to myself. I'll just do this. This voice in your head says, this isn't fun anymore. Let's just go do something more fun. So instead of even asking for help, I'm going to probably leave the task and start something else that's more fun. Whereas what you can do is you can actually ask for help for the parts of the task that aren't fun. Ask for help. And then you can get back to the fun stuff. So your mantra for type 7 is, I can do hard things, even if it's just for a little while. Let's talk about 8s. 8s like that control because their superego message says, hey, you're lovable if you're in control. You can start to see where asking for help might be a problem for 8s because they have this reluctance to show vulnerability or dependence on other people. I might have a fear of losing control or appearing weak by asking for help. And I have a preference of taking charge and solving problems independently because I know I will get it done and I like to be in control. The more I'm in control, the more lovable I feel. So that's just what I'm going to go for. So this voice in my head says, don't risk the chance of being out of control. So type 8, your mantra, write this down. Vulnerability is strength. And let's round out with our beloved type 9s, which are the peacemaker, which their super ego message says, hey, everyone around you's got to be good. Okay, so I can start to see why I wouldn't ask for help if it's going to burden other people. And so they don't like to ask for help because they have this desire to avoid conflict and they don't want to inconvenience others by asking for help. Because if I'm inconveniencing others, then my superego message comes in and says, hey, you're not lovable because others aren't getting what they need. So they have a tendency to downplay their own needs in order to maintain harmony. And they have difficulty asserting themselves and expressing their own desires because I'm so focused on everybody else's. What if I ask for help and I'm inconveniencing or burdening someone? I don't want to be a burden because then people will leave me. This voice in your head, this running message that says, I am an inconvenience to others. And again, these messages are not true. So what you're going to remember, type 9s, is your mantra is, my voice matters. So run this back, listen to it again, send it to a friend if you just know that something will speak to them, because I'm telling you, the Enneagram changed my life, not just with me being able to ask for help, but many, many layers. Procrastination, all these other self-sabotaging behaviors too. I just did an episode on procrastination. Check that out too. But there's so many benefits of asking for help. Wouldn't you like to ask for help? I think I know the answer because once again, those red marks on my arms from the grocery bags, they hurt. And I don't like them, but why do I keep doing this? Because I'm subscribing to this message, this fake voice in my head that I don't have to. So dive deep into the Enneagram, get to know your Enneagram type on a deep, deep level, get to know yourself on a deep level. And when you do, you're going to be able to have more time because you're going to be able to ask for help. Who doesn't want more time? I'll wait. Who doesn't want more time? If you are somebody who keeps complaining that you don't have enough time, I want you to sit down and have a real conversation with yourself and say, am I asking for help or am I afraid to? And then make small steps to begin to ask for help. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does not. You do not have to do everything on your own. you can ask for help. When I ask for help and I end up with more time, I have more time, and you know what I have less of? Less stress, because other people are helping me. I also have more trust in people because I'm asking them to do something and then they are delivering. And if they do that enough and they do that consistently after enough times, that's how trust is built. But I cannot trust anybody if I'm never giving them the opportunity to fulfill my trust. I'm automatically going to think that you can't do it because you never have. And I'm going to totally miss the point of, oh, I'm not giving you the opportunity to fulfill my trust. Right? We kind of go right over that one. So if you learn to ask for help, you will have more time. You will have less stress, and you will have more trust in people. So if that is a 3 for 3 for you, if you want those things, more time, more trust, less stress, then dive deep into the Enneagram and start asking for help more. You can do it, I promise. And once you get used to doing it, then you'll really be in the flow of it and you'll have so much more time and less stress. So get to know your type, get to know your reasons why it's hard to ask for help, and just start going for it. So more time, more trust, less stress. If that sounds good to you, please subscribe. I post content like this all the time. Send it to a friend who is also looking for more time, less stress, and more trust. That's all I got for you today. But of course, if I could leave you with one thing, it is this: expect good things always, and they will happen.